So we back with another video. On this video, I'm gonna show you how to bounce how to export the trackouts from Studio One. Again, we in Studio One version 4. So here I have a beat uploaded. Let me what you see right here. It's about 9 bars, but I have altogether. Let me see It's 11 tracks. Now I'm gonna let you hear the actual beat. Let me close this before I show you how to do the high cut filters and low cut. This is the actual beat. So you see the track window right here. I got everything labeled out. Kick, snare, all that, bass, verse, hook, all that stuff. Everything is labeled. Before we export the track outs, it's good to do the low filter cuts and the high filter cuts, because pretty much that's the frequency that's not being used. You want to cut those out. So I'm gonna show you that real quick. I'm gonna solo each track and show you how to do that. You see I have a EQ up here on every track. So we're gonna use the EQ to do the filter cuts. So I'm gonna start with the kick drum right here. I'm gonna solo it. Of course the track is loop. I'll bring up the EQ, which you see right here. I actually worked on the EQ. I raised the low end. Boosted the low end. Now, as you can see, it's the kick drum, so you see everything right here is mostly the low end and mid. You don't see nothing going on in the highs too much. Now, this is the filter cut right here, where you see it says HC. That stands for high cut filter. You have to click on this light to turn it on. Then you have 4 choices: 6 dB, 12. I always choose 48, which I'll let you see what 6 looks like, which is right here. It's slightly curved, but the bigger the amount, which is 48, the bigger the curve. So basically, there's not much going on in the high, so we want to drag this down to cut that frequency out. We only want to keep the low and the mid, so we did the filter cut on the kick drum. Now we're going to solo the second track, which is the snare, which is the snare and clap. Now we're showing some low end, but I'm going to still choose the low cut filter where it says LC. Click on that. Come here. I'm going to go to 48. You always want the big curve. And then I'm going to just slide it over and see how much frequency I can cut out. Okay, for this one, it does have some low, has some mid, and some high, so I'm not going to do no filter cut, because when I did the filter cut, I'll let you hear it again. It cuts out some of the clap, and we don't want that. Yeah, we don't want that cut out, so we're going to leave that the way it is. Here we're going to solo the hi-hats, mute everything else. And you can see the hats is right here in the high section. a little in the mid, but mostly in the high section. So we want to cut the low end because there's nothing going on there. So again, we click on it where it says LC, click on this and click 48. We want the biggest amount for the biggest curve. Then we're just going to drag it over. So right there is good. We cut out the low end frequency, and we kept the actual frequency you use. You see for the hi-hats also up here where it says spectrum, you could choose, this is the third octave where you see the bars. You could choose FFT curve. It'll kind of look like waves. Which is actually better for doing the filter cuts. It's more accurate at showing you what frequency is coming through. Then they have this waterfall, which I don't use that. I don't like that one. We're going to stick with this curve one. So we did that filter cut. So now we're going to come to the next track, solo it. This is the percussion. So it's mostly mid-range. So we're going to do a low cut filter first. Choose 48. Just click on this red dot right here. Drag it over. And again, we're using the Pro EQ. This is the stock EQ in Studio One. Now I'm going to click on the high cut filter right there. Choose 48. Grab this purple dot. Just drag it over a little. Right there, I'm going to hit Control and save so we don't lose this, or you could come up to File and click Save. So again, moving along. Here's the drop. I'm going to solo that. Okay. It's mostly in the low end and the mid. So we're going to do a high cut filter to get rid of this frequency right here. I'm going to see how it sounds if I just cut it down a little. No, I want that, so I'm going to take the high cut filter off. And we're not going to do no filter cut on this. I didn't like how it sounded with that high cut. So let's see. Moving on to the bass, solo it. And you always want to solo each track so you can hear what's on it. Again, I already boosted the bass. You can see right here. I boosted the mid a little on this so the actual 808 glides could come through. You can hear it more clear. All right, so we're going to try a high cut filter, see how it sounds. Okay, we're going to drag this back though. Now we're going to drag it over. All right, I like how that sounds. I'm going to play the whole track. I want to see how it sounds in the track. Take off that solo. And hold on, let me see. Let me take off that mute. It's always good to play the whole thing back, especially with the bass. You want to hear how the bass sounds with the track. All right, so it sounds good. So we're gonna leave it like that. Control and save. Come back to the mixing console. Hold up, we gotta. Click on the next track, solo it. This is the actual transition effects, which let me go. That's toward the eighth bar. Let me scroll over. All right, so let me play that. So it's mostly highs in this area, but then towards the end, you hit a low range. I'm not gonna put no filter cut because it starts out in the highs, then it goes from the mid to the low. I don't want to cut nothing out, so I'm gonna just leave that how it is. So now we're gonna go to the bells, that melody, solo that right there. Okay, so let me look at the. So we're gonna do a low cut filter. That's mostly mid and high range right there. Choose 48. Let me bring it over here first. Now I'm gonna play it back. So yeah, it's pretty much right in here. So I cut out the low end to kill some of that unused frequency. Next track, we're gonna solo the siren. Hold up. Oh yeah, we gotta go to the beginning. Yeah, that has some low end. I used the low end, some low end notes and some high end. So let me, yeah, this one I'm not gonna do no filter cuts. Yeah, I'm not gonna do no filter cuts because it's got both low end and high end. So let me control save. We're gonna come to this effect sound. It's mostly low end, mid end, but I'm gonna try. Let me see how it sounds with a high cut. All right, that one, I want the high end. It has a little high end on it, so we're gonna leave it how it is. And the last track, which is the hook, the bells, it's like a different pattern. It's mostly mid and highs. Let me check that again though. Yeah, we could cut some of the low end, just a little, not too much. Yeah, so I cut out a little low end, so that's pretty much all the tracks. So you definitely want to do that before you export your trackouts. So we about to do that now. Export the trackout. So let me take this solo off. Take this mute. Now, Studio One, you want to come up to Song, up in the menu. Then you want to choose Export Stems. Some people call it Trackout, some people call it Stems. It's the same. So if I wanted to send this like to an artist, if they want the track out so they can mix it down, that's basically what the stems is. It's all the the drums, the instruments, everything on a separate track. So with Studio One, you could export the channels or the tracks. I usually go with tracks. If you got a bunch of like if you use the drum machine, a drum kit, and you use the hi-hat, kick, snare, all in that same kit, you would want to use the channels. If you got them all on the same track, you could still export the stems with channels, but I got everything on a separate track, so we go and click tracks, the second option. Make sure everything is check marked right there. The overlap is 1 second. I like to check that. If you got a reverb on one of the sounds, it might be a tail end on a reverb, so you wanna pick that up. When it's doing the actual audio stems, you still want to pick that up. So I like to check overlap. You see right tempo to audio files, you want to have that checked. Preserve mono check, always have that checked. I always use between loop. What you see is bar 1 through 9. I just export the 8-bar track outs. Once they get that, they can just arrange it how they want, but always choose between loop. You got to name it, which I'm going to name it. Of course, you want to get a beat and name. Always put the tempo at 69 BPM. That's the tempo. And we just going to put track outs. Then up top, you click these 3 dots to choose the folder. So I'm going to bounce it to this folder right here. Actually, I want to create a new folder too. It's always good to create a new folder for PC users. Click on New Folder. I'm going to name it Beat 82 Trackouts. And that's what I'm going to use. So click Select Folder in the bottom right corner. Then, you always want to do WAV file for the format. Resolution, I do 16-bit. Sample rate 44.1. I leave that the same. Then just click OK. And it's going to export each one by one. You can see right here the solo going to each track. Yeah, it's doing each track one by one. Studio One's pretty fast too. So now that it's done, it's showing you all the actual track outs in the folder. So everything is there. It's pretty much that's it. That's how you do the filter cuts. You always want to do your filter cuts to get rid of any unwanted frequency. It helps the mix sound cleaner. And then you bounce your stems, your track out. So that's it for this video right here. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, comment, all that. Share the video. Look out for more videos. Some Studio One production tips coming. But yeah, hit that notification bell also.